the Vikings. Are the Vikings the real deal? We'll start with you, Nikki. What you got, buddy?
I mean, look the way they're playing so far. Yeah, they're winning games. They're doing it with a backup quarterback in Sam Darnold, but they have a really talented roster around them, and they have a good head coach in Kevin O'Connell. And we saw this his first year. An instant upgrade with O'Connell from Mike Zimmer. And they were the number 2 seed and looked like a threat throughout the regular season. Not to mention the Vikings seem to have a trend, like one year they'll be really good, they'll be mediocre the next, and they'll be really good, make a playoff push, and they'll be mediocre. And so far, they're following that trend. But the way they're playing, particularly the way they blew out the Houston Texans and gave them their only loss, that was impressive. I'm like, okay, not only did they win, but they won in dominant fashion. This team definitely has something for sure. And I was impressed. And so I got to give the Minnesota Vikings prop. They're doing a great job there. Still got Justin Jefferson on offense. You got Aaron Jones is still doing solid when he's in the lineup on offense. You got this Vikings defense still has some decent playmakers. Even Harrison Smith is still a solid piece. Not the same guy he used to be, but he's still a solid piece at this stage in his career. So I got to give him credit. And not to mention, with all due respect to the NFC, it is the weaker conference. They got a more favorable schedule playing against primarily NFC foes. But hey, they can take advantage of that, make a push. I mean, they could probably make a wild card if the Lions win the division, or they could win the division and steal it from the Lions, either or. But I'll say this, I'm definitely looking forward to those Vikings-Lions games, that's for sure. But shout out to O'Connell for doing his thing there.
All right, good stuff, Nikki. Good stuff. Bo,
I gotta get my
how do you feel?
Real quick.
Yeah, I mean, they look real, right? Like that defense is ahead of schedule. Obviously, you have Justin Jefferson, one of the best to play, and I figured that Darnold was going to have one of his best years, considering he finally has a team around him, right? Like he starts his career with the Jets, absolute just garbage team. He goes to the Panthers again. Really nothing there for him to play with. He actually had a decent start with the Niners in a backup role. So I thought he was going to have, a chance to resurrect his career. Obviously, I didn't see him doing what he's currently doing, right? Like I thought he was going to be far and away better than what we'd seen from him, but not what it is we're seeing today. But yeah, I mean, this looks like a complete team, and they don't even have all their pieces back yet. Hawkinson, I think, comes back this next week. Because they have a bye, right? So, he would come back in time to play the Lions. In fact, they come off a bye to play them. So this is,
oh wow,
yeah, the team looks like the real deal, and they're actually pretty fun to watch, which is weird to say for the Vikings.
Absolutely, I absolutely agree. Let's go on. What you got, James?
Yeah, I mean, they've definitely looked like the real deal. You got to worry a little bit after last week. Sam Darnold kind of came back down to earth, 14 of 31 last week. Not his best performance, but he was so good the first 4 weeks. It's okay to have a bad week once in a while, right? So this week's a big one. These upcoming next couple games, does he get back on track to where he was, or does he kind of slide back to where he was in his past? So something we got to keep an eye on. Also, who had Andrew Van Ginkel for a pick 6 in this last week's game? I know I didn't have that on my bingo card. That's for sure. That's the thing about a complete team, though, right? Is when your offense has an off week, the defense steps up and helps you out. So that was a huge thing for them this last week when Darnold finally had a week that wasn't his best. The defense stepped up and absolutely dominated and really made people think that Aaron Rodgers is probably washed and caused a whole shitstorm in the New York Jets organization. So you got to give them credit. They're getting it from one side or the other whenever they need it. So they look like the real deal to me.
Yeah, great stuff. I mean, look, this team to me is the real deal. This was a surprise. I thought the Vikings would be, pretty much kind of pulling up the rear in the NFC North before this season started. Honestly, man, same rolling out Sam Darnold, rookie JJ McCarthy if he didn't get injured. I just thought they were going to be pulling up the rear, and this team has come out gangbusters. Right now, they are literally 2 games above everybody else in the NFC right now, and that's saying something. 5-0, the only last undefeated team left in the NFC. You mentioned, like James just mentioned, Sam Darnold did not have his best stuff last week, but yet still they found a way to get the win. And that was against the Jets defense. So we were just talking about the Jets a little bit and everything we said. One thing they are good on is defense, you know what I mean? So that's not like that's an easy defense to go out there and take and handle anyway. So I just think that this team is absolutely for real. Sam Darnold he's like you said, you put a team around him and you can see what a guy can do. He was number 3 overall pick, if I'm not mistaken, when he got drafted. So, I mean, at the end of the day, there is some talent there, man. And now we're finally getting to see it. I mean, I think he could be still leading the league in touchdown passes, maybe. I'm not sure. He may not be now, but he may be. And he's like right now, he's kind of playing where you got to maybe even put his name on the MVP ballot. I know it sounds crazy to say, but Sam Darnold is balling right now, man. I mean, like you said, he had some hiccups last week, but this team, man, is legit. And like you said, they still have one of their big weapons, hasn't even cracked the lineup yet this season, in TJ Hawkinson, like Bo mentioned. So to put that into perspective as well, man, they're getting the most out of everybody. Aaron Jones was looking like a pretty solid acquisition in the offseason as well. And then obviously we know what Justin Jefferson is, one of the best at what he does. So, and defensively, this team is making plays. And then the thing is, you get off to a start like this, everybody starts to believe, man, and then it gets contagious, man. So I look for this team to continue to be good. I mean, obviously they're not going to go undefeated. Eventually somebody's going to get them, you know what I mean? But I think this team is going to be really, really good, and I think the Lions really had their work cut out for them, and the Packers. I think you can possibly see three teams out of that division in the postseason this year in the NFC. So they could be that division this year. So
you know what's crazy for them coming up? So their schedule, right? They come off the bye. They have the Lions. Going to be a rough game, right? Now, they may win. They may not, whatever, coin flip. But then you go on from there. They play the Rams, probably a win. They play the Colts, probably a win. They play the Jags, almost certainly a win. And then the Titans, also just a garbage team. Then you get the Bears, which are inconsistent at best. And then the Cardinals, right? I mean, they have a path to really not have many losses here.
Yeah, when's the loss? When's the loss in that schedule?
I mean, even to just wrap.
If they get past the line, if they beat the Lions,
they'll probably split the Lions, right? So because they finished the year with them too. But then the only notable game, right? They got the Cardinals, or not the Cardinals, but the Falcons. You know, obviously they have their division opponents one more time in the Seahawks. So, I mean, like there's an opportunity for them to really have a, 13 or 14 win season if they keep playing the way they're playing. And that, again, having watched the Vikings my whole life, wow. That is not something you would expect from them.
Yeah, but it can happen.
It definitely can.